with the $549.42 that we gained for the week, divided that by the starting cash that we had of $7,840.47, that gave us How's it going? It's Rocky. Welcome to week number 36, where every Friday we release content on our experience trading the micro E-mini futures. Our recent challenge is something I've dubbed the Don't Lose Money Challenge, and so far we've been doing quite well on it. So I'd like to say that trading less and really quality trading has helped me a lot on this. And I'm also risking a lot less money, so the reward is a little less, but it's helping me with consistency, and that's why you've seen some, the numbers are really low, but they've been positive the past 6 or 7 weeks. What we're seeing here is the hourly chart for the week, and Monday was the Labor Day holiday in the US, so there was no trading done, and because of that, I decided not to trade the day after the long weekend. 3-day weekends, the day after it's usually a little tricky trading it, and we're close to rolling over to a new contract, so that's why I stayed away from the market. It wasn't until later the week that I did trade, and I'm gonna zoom in on those trades. So the maximum number of contracts that we did open was a total of 4 contracts, where on this first trade here we lost $141.86. On this second trade, where I entered right away after I was stopped out on that, a long position where we made $464.64. So that was our best trade of the week, and we ended the week quite well on this short here on our trade number 3, which got us $226.64. So if we look at our summary for week number 36, you can see that we did earn a total of $549.42, where most of our gains really just occurred on the last 2 days of the week. Now here's my account statement, where I show it for transparency and really to show you my progress, and I measure my success really by my cash balance. So that's realized money that's already on the account itself. And our timeline for this week is from September 5th to today, September 10th. You can see not a lot of activity. The maximum contracts that we did open was 4 contracts of the micro. And if we look at the description, I did not deposit or withdraw any money this week. So our ending cash for the week is $8,389.89. And our starting cash was $7,840.47. And that gave us a total of the week of $549.42. And on 9 to 5 40-hour week, if you were to compare apples to apples, that gave us an hourly rate of about $13.73. Percentage wise, it's a good way to measure your success as well. So with the $549.42 that we gained for the week, divided that by the starting cash that we had of $7,840.47, that gave us a percentage of, let me just multiply 100, of 7%. So I would say a gain of 7% for the week, and that's realized. That's a pretty good week for us. So our first trade analysis here, which I'm going to call the zombie trade, and you'll know exactly what I mean by that. And if you've been watching my content, you've known that I've been focusing on trading the Globex session, which is the Asian and European market, so after hours. And basically, I opened 4 contracts at about 11:06 p.m. and I went long on this position. And the reason that I went long was I was seeing a bit of a reversal on the candlesticks, and on our stochastic RSI, we were on the overbought side, which is when I want to enter a trade. And also on the MACD, it's already crossed over. Yes, we are below the 0 line, but I was seeing that it was starting to diverge, showing some bullish signs there. And if we look at the stochastic RSI itself, a bit aggressive, but I was like, hey, we are headed to the overbought on the stochastic RSI. Yeah, it hasn't crossed over yet, but it's getting there. So that's why I did go long on this position. And it's slow moving in the evening, and I placed my OCO to protect myself. I actually had 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio where we had 100 points on the limit on the top and 100 points trailing stop on the bottom. But unfortunately for this one, right at midnight, quite a volatility. That's when the European market opens. As far as the time zone in the Pacific time, it's about midnight, and we were stopped out of that, and that's why I denoted it by the oval shape that I have here. And I lost $141.86 on this trade, and I was okay with that because I protected myself. Sure, I could have exited while I was up a little bit, but my goal was that risk to reward ratio of 1-to-1. And I call it a zombie trade because right at midnight I was already asleep when I was stopped out, and this stopped out occurred at 12:04, and I had the alert on my phone. And because of that, I guess I just, as a reflex, don't recommend it. So right at 12:05, about a minute later, I decided to jump back in, and I didn't do it based off of charts. I was just basically looking at the hourly charts, and that's what I was basing it off of. And for this next trade right here, you can look at both the time base and tick base. It did quite well, and we didn't exit until the next morning at about 6:47 in the morning. And for this trade we made $464.64, and the reason I closed it out at 6:45 is I didn't want to wait until that top of the hour at this 7 o'clock, because sometimes there's a crazy reversal that occurs on the top of the hour, and of course you always have the convenience of hindsight, and as you can see here, it kept dropping down. So sometimes it's important to really just lock in your gains and try to fight that greed, which is something that I say I've been quite good at being comfortable at really just taking my profits and not trying to get that higher number. Now here's our second trade analysis, and I want to say this is quite basically following the momentum quite a bit here. And I had this yellow line just to show you what the previous close was yesterday, Thursday. And the previous close was 34,753. And with the uncertainty of the contract changing today, I just wanted to watch really. I wasn't planning on trading at all, but when the market did open, it was up about 200 points for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So I honestly thought it was going to be a positive day. So, I waited until, of course, this drop occurred, quite a big drop for this candle. And that's when I started paying attention. And finally, when both the time base and my tick base did agree with each other, that's when I decided to enter. So this is pretty textbook, I guess. And this is when I like to show good examples like this. Well, I guess not just because it worked, but because it's really showing the signs that we're looking for when entering a quality trade. So on the candlesticks, you can see that they're all pretty bearish, and that's why I decided to short at 34,850. So 34,850 for contracts. And on the MACD, you can see it crossed over. We're below the zero line. It's starting to diverge. On the stochastic RSI, we're on the oversold side, which is when I like to short. And if you look at the tick base, they're both in agreement where the stochastic RSI is also on the oversold, and you can see that we've already crossed over on the MACD, and we were pretty much diverging there. And there was a lot of volume happening here where the brokerage was actually lagging a little, which made me worry a bit. But what's great is, we just followed this trend, and once, before you know it, a gain of 200 points for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and we flipped, and we were, down almost 100 points on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So I placed my OCO. I wasn't gonna get greedy with it, and thankfully for this trade, lasted about 30 minutes on this Friday, and we ended the week at with this trade at $226.64. So yeah, that's my content this week. I just wanted to show you that on a short week, 4 days of trading this week, but I only traded essentially 2 days. And with the contracts rolling over, I really wanted to make sure I stayed conservative, and we still managed to have a good week, a great week by my standards, because considering this as a side hustle now. So hopefully you enjoyed my content. Please do like and subscribe if you did, and if you haven't, please give me another chance, and hopefully on the next one you'll like the content that I'm producing. All right, see ya.